guys, let's start another LeetCode day. Block placement queries. There exists an infinite number line, originate 0 extending towards x-axis. You are given a 2D array queries which contains two types for query 1. Query of type 4, a query of type 1. It builds an obstacle at distance x from its origin. It is guaranteed that there is no obstacle at distance x when the query is asked. For query 2, you given check if it is possible to place a box of size anywhere in the range 0 to 2 on the line such that the block entirely lies on the range. A block cannot be placed if it intersects any obstacle, but it may touch it. Note that you do not actually place the block. Queries are separate. Return a boolean array results where result I is true if you can place the block in the ith queue. So for you're given a 2D. Let's see, is it given that the queries? So for query 0, we place an obstacle at x. Query I equals to build an obstacle at distance x from at a distance of x. For query place an obstacle at x equals to 2. A block of size at most 2 can be placed. I don't get what's the meaning of this 1 here. Builds an obstacle of distance x from its origin. It is guaranteed that you're given a 2D array queries. Query bracket 0. Let's query 0 is what? 1 comma 2. What does 1 comma 2 tell us? It tells us we build at a distance 2. There is no obstacle. So what about, so there's 1 comma 7. Block of size. Place an obstacle. This is so confusing. The boundaries are so confusing. 2D array queries. Let's visualize it a little bit. So we're given an infinite line, right? And for example, it starts at 0. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, and then you are given an array query. So we are given query array, which is, let's say its first one is, so that is query bracket 0 is 1 comma 2, right? For this type of query, so we've built an obstacle at this. So there is an obstacle from the origin from 0. We have a big obstacle here. It is guaranteed that there is no obstacle at distance x. So initially we don't have any a distance x from its origin. See, so this means type 1 or type 2. So 1 means type 1, 2 means type 2. I got it. So for a query of type 2, so then the next is check if for query of type 2, it would say 2 x value is 3 for the next part, and then size. Check if it is possible to place a block of size 3. So we have a size 3 block anywhere in the range from 0 to 3. Can we place a block of size 3 online such that the entirety lies on the range? So here we already have a block, right? So there exists a block from 0 to 2. A block cannot be placed if it intersects, but it may touch it. Not that you do not actually place the block. Queries are separate. So for 2, 3 and 3, block of size 3 we can't place from 0 to 3, right? What about next? From 0 to 3, a block of size 1. So we could place a block here, so this will be true. What about a block of size 2? From 0 to 2, query 0, an obstacle. So how is this true? From 0 to 2, can we place a block of size? There's already a block. It may touch it. Not that you do not actually place a block. I don't get this one. How is 2 to 2 valid? Query 1, we build an obstacle at distance x from the origin. Origin is always 0, right? So we already have a block from 0 to 2. There already exists a block from 0 to 2, and then this query, what does 2 to 2 mean? 2 means query type 2. Middle part is the distance from 0 to 2, and 2 is the size. A block cannot be placed if it intersects, but it may touch it. So I guess this is, it may touch it means if the block is of the same size, it should be fine. Let's look at another example here. Let me look at this example. Oh, sorry. Let's create another line. I need up to 8 digits. So we start at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So first query 1 does what? So 1 comma, we have 2, we have 1 comma 7, right? And another query of type 1 has 1 comma 2. So here's one: build an obstacle at a distance x. So we have an obstacle at, there is an obstacle here, and then there is also an obstacle. Query 0, place an obstacle, from 1 to 7 we place an obstacle here. A block of size at most 7 can be placed. So we place an obstacle at query 2. So we go like line by line. So we have an obstacle at 7. The next query says, query type 2, we need a block of size 7. From 0 to 7 can we place a block of size 6? From 0 to 6 we could place, that is true. So we could have a big block that doesn't cover the obstacle, that's correct. Next is we place an obstacle right here, and then this is from 0 to 7 can we place an obstacle of size 5. So I guess we keep a running sum. So up to the range 7 we could place a block of size 7. Now if we place something at 2, 7 minus 2 is 5, so we can touch it, but not, we have 1 2 3 4 5, so it should be true. So next is, can we place a block of size 6? 6 will either go across either side, so that will be false. So coming back to this part, I was thinking like block is extended. So what will be the best way? So initially block can be thought of the max size of type 2 allowed for a second block. If it's on the left, we minus and get a new range. If it's on the right side, so what happens, what if instead of where is it, so what if we had another thing where we had 1 comma 9? So what do we do then? So we go up to 9, we place a block here, and now hey Gina, what's up?
Oh my god, I slept.
Oh,
Just saw your message, but I'm coming tomorrow morning for sure.
just text Prithvi what time, alright?
Oh, he told me come 8 to 4.
That works. Okay. Sorry. So from 0 to 9, right? From 7 to 9 we could place something of size 2. So now we have 3 obstacles. Now I want to know how will this work. We could still place, query check if it is possible, anywhere in the range from 0 to 9. So our max still remains, right? It's on the right, and range keep track of max block available, and then check that it's on the right, compare the max block available. Alright, looks like, but how are we gonna structure this? So let's go through all the queries. What do? Let's keep an integer max, because is it, oh, 1 second, because it is given, like the first part has to be 1, right? Queries bracket I bracket 0 return query, and we have to return a boolean array, right? Okay, let's keep a boolean. First let's declare a boolean array depending on how many query to, so how many boolean arrays we need to find. Array list of type boolean, answer equals to new array list. Let's create a boolean, and now integer equals to queries dot length. If it's a query of if I do query bracket 0, that would be the inner part, that will give me the length of this, right? 1 and 2. Let's go for integer I equals to 0, I must be less than, and I plus plus. So what do? We check if queries, what is called, if queries bracket 0 bracket I equal to what, 1, that means type 1. Then what do? Oh, sorry, I mean 1 second, is type 1. So we also, do I keep a max inside here or outside? Teacher max block equals to -1. Let me, so what happens is, if queries, and what do? We check, okay, where is my thing, draw. So what do we want to do here? We want to check, oh sorry, so if we want to make that number as the block size, right? For query, if it's type 1, what do? We do if this is equal, and we also want to check, we check teacher block equals to, let me initialize it to 0. Max block, integer max block is 0. So let's say I initialize, I have a 0 here. First is 1 comma 2, right? So when we reach here, if the first part is 1, so I need to place a block at 2, right? So what do? I do if, so let me, I do max block equals to 2, right? And then for the next loop, if I reach 1 again, what do I want to do? I want to do max, if max block is greater than 0, that means we have a value, we already have a max. So I should use absolute. So integer of query, so let me do max block equals to math dot absolute of what? Of max block minus, max block equal to math dot max of this, of whatever answer I have, max block, right? Max block comma math dot absolute of max block minus queries of whatever value I have. So if 0 bracket I is 2, of queries of 1 bracket I, right? This will give me the max block. So then if what, if queries of 0 bracket I, if it is 2, right, that is type 2. So type 2 has 3 values, right? What does type 2 has? So we have teacher block size equals to, query queries bracket what size is are this, right? Third part, so queries bracket 3 or comma, 2 comma I, that is our block size. What do we want to check? We want to check if the block size, and we check if block size is less than equal, it can be equal to, right? It can be equal to max block, right? Then what do? If it is less, then we add answer dot add what? True, right? False, answer dot is add capital false, right? Let me try to run it in my, before submitting. Where's my IntelliJ thing? Was it in here? I was testing the other day. Testing it here, right? So let me public boolean to see. Let's import that. Import that. Was a small anyway. And then here we return what? Answer, right? Required list of type boolean. Here let me provide with the input list of queries arrays dot as list. Let me give it value bracket 1 comma bracket u comma 3 comma, let's give it value of 2 comma 3. It's not a list, sorry. We have teacher array is equals to teacher array of this. How do I, teacher array queries equals to new integer array of this. Let me just copy paste this. See, oh, why is this wrong? New integer array. Let's try to learn. What is, enter this value, right? Class testing G. I have this. Let me maximize this 1 second. Max path block equals to this. Where else am I expecting another? I have to close the bracket here. Now I have to fix that. So I have class in G. How do I test this? I have a class. I create an object. Let's do some help. I want to test my code in IntelliJ, which I coded on LeetCode. How do I fill my main method to run some inputs? Queries. Oh, it should be in. I see. Let's run. Let's copy this. Let's see. I thought it used to be brack. I don't know how to fucking define an array. And let's be. And then what do we have here? We have what? G answer equals to testing G. So this, what's the name? Testing testing capital G. Don't say right or wrong. Just let me set up the testing G objective. Let's make it static. Oh, I see. It's out of my. Here we do have an error. Missing one. What's the error? It's public class testing G. I don't get what's wrong here. Try to run current testing G, so it should be declared in the file. My file name is wrong. Array out of index. How is getting out of index? Put a bugger here. Index to 24. Oh, 0 bracket. So not 0 bracket I. So for query of 1, 0 query bracket. I see what I done wrong here. So I'm going through query. So if query 1 is only 0 1, what if the fourth query was, I see what I did wrong here. So what I'm doing wrong here is, this is wrong. I need to, so if I have 1 2, I have 1 5, what I want is just these values, right? So I could do for query array in query bracket 1 in I comma 0, right? So it should be for integer I. So under C for what? For query, for queries bracket. I'm not accessing. The access is wrong, right? So the access should be for array yes. So what do I need here? For integer array query in queries if integer array query in queries if are query of what of query bracket 0. I'm not using array of 1 comma 2 query of 1 if query bracket if q bracket 0 equals to 2, make it 2, right? What about the middle part? From size is this. So if I need to get, this is a little bit wrong too, I think. Control window C. So once if it is 2, right, get the size 0. Now what do? Now we check in range from now for 0 to x, then in 0 to x, right? If size is, so what do? We check if our block size, if our query bracket 1 for this, so if our 0 to x, what if that range is less than, no, I think I might have to, no. So let's think what I'm doing here. So let's, where is this, 1 second, oh sorry. So when we have 0 to 2, right, we put a block on 2, so we have the block size. So if that size is, if query bracket 1, if that range is less than equal to x block, right, if that range, if 0 to x is, if it's greater than, if that is greater than max block, if the value is greater than the range, then what do you, if it is either way, right? If so, the only thing that matters is the size. The range can be different. So if I have a block here sitting here, and then with this thing I have, the range is maybe, let's say range is 4, the size is 2. So what do I want to check? And what do I want to check here? If so, that here our max block is 2, right? Max block is 2, but for this part, for the second type, our range is up till 4. So that means first we have to check if the range is greater than the block. What if the range is less than the block? No, we don't, that range doesn't matter at the end, no. The only thing that matters is, and we need to check if block size is, what if the block size is bigger than the range? Is that a scenario? Query of 1 and 2 and size equal to minimum of that and 3 times query's dot length. Listen, size could be, okay, I think here we need to do some checks. So we're given the size, that is this part, the second parameter. The size is minimum of 5 into 10 to the power of 4 times query's dot length. What if the size is greater than, check this block of size anywhere in the range from 0 to x. First, check if the block size is greater than the range of x is greater than query bracket 1. Block size is bigger than the range, so means what? That means we add the answer. We need to add false. Answer dot add false, right? Sorry, to see, and else, as long as the block size is less than within the range, we check if that block size. So first we check the block size is if it's within the max block. Else we check if that range, we put a block. Type 1 is, we put blocks. 1 is max block is that type is that 2, and then 0 comma 1. So this is annoying me. So we get the max block equals to, for the first part, type 1, we get it 2. And then here we check what, if block size is 3, range is also 3. So we check in block size is 3, and if 3 is greater than, which is false, we check if block size is greater than max block. We answer dot add false, fill, right, and else answer dot add true. That block size is less than equal to maximum block. That's a lot of clutter. And then we return answer. Let's try to run this. Let's try. Return statement is out of bounds. Oh, do I have an extra? Let me close this. Let me go to the innermost if. Let me have this outside. Yes. Oh, right. This should be entered with that. Capital boolean, and then line 17 has block size. Find symbol block block. This is capital block size. Sir, I think it might be good for first case, but I don't know what have I done wrong here. Let's see, what did we do? Where did we go wrong? Okay, this is my attempt. Where is my, then the prefix is there obstacle free segment. The main issue is that max block is in your code doesn't represent actual free segments are length 2, as there is also 10 to infinity. Suppose another obstacle is added 1 to 5. Free segments are 0 to 2. Just segment equals to length 5. Still produce. I see there. I see we did wrong. Capital suddenly size, for example, 0 to 2, 7 to 10 is size 3. Maximum gap is 5. Since 5 is why preset. Okay, so we were doing it a little bit wrong. So we need to keep track of. We need to use a preset. That's on preset. So preset integer obstacles equals to new preset. So I guess I should have thought about maximum obstacle per each query. So that should have given us the hint of a preset and list of boolean answer equals to array list. And what do we do for each integer array q in queries? We add obstacle. If our q bracket 0 is equal to 1, that is a type 1, we add it to our text dot add what q bracket 1 value. Else that means we have teacher x equals to q bracket 1 and teacher size equals to q bracket 2. Then we maintain 2 pointers, previous equals to 0 and integer max gap equals to 0. And then for each obstacle, for each integer object and obs obstacles, if the obstacle is, if it is greater than x equals to 1 is the range. If the obstacle is greater than the range, we break. Cap equals to is max of max cap and object minus priv is the and priv equals to obstacle, right? And then what do? We initialize max cap again. Max cap equals to math dot max of max cap and x minus priv. And what does x minus priv mean? X was the middle, x bracket 1 is the range minus the previous range, right? And then we do answer dot add if add max gap greater than equal to size, and then we return max gap. Oh, return answer, sorry, return answer. Let's see, we're missing. Actually, it wasn't that bad, so we should have thought about this framework. Oh, I guess it really exceeded. Alright, this is. Okay, I'm gonna come back to this later.